Hello everybody. Today I'm bringing you a layout that features these photos of me scrapping on International Scrapbook Day. And it was a very special day. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit, but let's talk about the papers first. I am using papers from the Chamel, American Crafts Chamel Starshine collection, and I'm actually using the 12 by 12 paper pad, but I have gone through and found the names of the papers for you so that if you happen to have the individual papers, you'll know what I'm using. I've got some paper colors picked out here, and I'm kind of trying to figure out what else I want to use, and I know I'm going to need a journaling block, so I grabbed that cut apart sheet from Starshine, and the paper name is Astro, and I cut out that journaling block that says Brilliant on it. Now, I really loved that globe paper and wanted to use it as a very large feature on a layout at some point. The name of that globe paper from Starshine is Exploration. And then I grabbed this pink stripe paper from Starshine, which is called Odyssey. And I decided I was going to use that pink paper as the mat for my photos and use it on just the top. I really like to do this where I divide the layout into thirds. And I have that little airplane piece from a cut apart, and I really liked it, but eventually I have a hard time fitting it onto the layout, which is what's kind of happening now, so I decided I'm not going to use that. So instead, I found this chipboard piece that is says the world is open and limitless, so I'm going to use that. Now, I had the border on that page, but I didn't like the white of the star border next to the white of the globe paper. So I'm still going to need to figure out how to put a border on this, and I go to my washi tape here and I look at the options I have in navy. I do like the stripe there, but there's already a stripe there and it's pretty white. So I decided pretty quickly that I'm going to want to use a polka dot. By the way, I store my washi tape in cigar boxes, old cigar boxes. So it's kind of a fun way to do it. And I store it, basically kind of by color. So I found this blue polka dot washi tape from Bella Boulevard. It's older. I don't have the name of it any longer, but it's one of the fairly wide ones, which I kind of like. So one of the reasons I'm talking about possibility and that kind of a thing is that these pictures are of me scrapbooking, but you can also see by the picture on the right that that is my iPad. And the reason that is important is as I was scrapbooking, my sister texted me because my nephew was graduating from college in a city that's hundreds and hundreds of miles away from where I live, probably almost 300 miles away from where I live, and I did not go to graduation because I had some other things I had to do this weekend. But she texted me and said, hey, they're live streaming the graduation on YouTube. So I quick went to YouTube, Googled his university, went to YouTube, and found the live stream. So just back to the layout for a second, what I'm doing there is I kind of like the journaling card there, but it would have to be a journaling card that is horizontally oriented, and I only have journaling cards that are vertically oriented left from this. Now I could go find some in my other papers, but I decided I didn't want to do that because I wanted to use up what I have here within this collection. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking back through the paper pad to see if there's any other possibilities. And I love that green color. I thought that would be really cool to use on it, but the rectangle is too small. And I looked at the square and decided, no, I didn't like that square. It would be too small, too not wide enough, and too high, too deep height, I guess, too high in height. So anyway, I thought about that. I thought about that floral one, but I really didn't want to put any more flowers on here than I needed to, just because I already have quite a few in the globes and in that chipboard. So I play around with this from this piece from a cut apart sheet and I'm going to end up abandoning this. It's too much with the busy pattern is what's happening here for me. That's why I'm not caring for it. So I am thinking about using this piece of polka dot paper, and that polka dot paper is from True Stories, from the Schmel True Stories collection, and it's the cinnamon roll paper. And you'll see how I use that in just a second. I'm continuing to play. Now I've got an idea that maybe the journaling box can go down on the bottom left there, and I have another piece from a cut apart there, but I don't like the squareness. And then I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I like the brilliant one there. But now I don't need the polka dot paper at the top as a journaling block, but I'm thinking about, well, maybe that can anchor my cluster there with the world is open to possibilities idea. And I choose, I'm thinking again, I'm still toying with, I like that journaling card, but maybe I still use the polka dot paper. So I pull this die cut that says, "You're only limited by your imagination." And that die cut is from the Schmel Starshine collection, the cardstock and die cut shapes. So I'm playing around with that a little bit to see, well, could I use it up there instead of the chipboard? Can I make it, you know, drop down a little bit more? And now thinking about using other colors. I like the aqua, getting some of the aqua up there. But that, I don't like the star card there. I was just looking, I don't remember if I told you this or not, the names of the papers. The pink stripe paper is Odyssey from the Starshine collection, and the glow paper is called Exploration, just so you know. Now, if you're catching this, a lot of my embellishments here have things about possibility and openness and imagination. I've got the brilliant card on there, and the reason I'm doing it is not only am I watching my nephew's college graduation, and so he's graduating, which obviously the world is open to possibility for him and all that kind of stuff, and he's brilliant. He's a really good student, or was a really good student. He's going on for his master's this fall. But the world is open to so much possibility because look at what technology is doing. I couldn't attend the graduation, but I am attending the graduation through the YouTube live stream. And when I graduated for college, those kinds of things weren't even possible. I mean, the internet was not even really in its infancy yet at that point. So I think it's really awesome how much possibility there is out there, and that we are only limited by our imaginations. And I think that's even more, you see that even more now because of technology and how fast the world changes. You know, the world changed much slower. There's lots of studies about how fast the world is changing now compared to how fast it changed in times before. So anyway, all of the embellishments on this page have double meanings because of the graduation and me being able to join this graduation by technology, through technology. So I cut off the border of the brilliant journaling card because I didn't like the white on white, and that really opened up possibility, for me with this layout. Once I did that, I really liked the way these clusters looked even more. Now what I am going to do is I am going to start inking edges here just because that globe pattern is so busy. I think it does need some edge inking. So I inked the imagination die cut, and I'm going to ink the brilliant journaling card there. And I'll ink everything else as well too, or almost everything else. And now I'm going to actually get my photos down now that I've decided. I did pull the photos down just a little bit so that it does touch the border there. That's just helping bring the layout together when you layer and your elements touch more than one layer of the paper. That's a good tip for layering, is to have things touch more than one space, and that's what I did there. Now I pulled that brilliant banner off of the chipboard sheet. And again, that's the Starshine chipboard stickers. I liked the green. I think I said that before when I was looking at the top, and it just gets another color in there. I've got a corally pink color, and I have the pink, and I have lots of navy, but I like pulling in the green here as well. I'm going to pull the yellow in just a little bit because I'll add some yellow stars to this, and I think you see that. It's been about a week since I made this layout, and I've made a few since, so it's hard for me to remember sometimes. All right, so I inked that chipboard, "The World is Open and Limitless," and I'm putting that down. But as I'm looking at this, it's kind of plain up there, and I'm trying to figure out what to do besides that. I also think that that circle is so busy, and so is the glow paper under it, and they're similar, that I need to somehow emphasize that. And I'm thinking about that as I'm working with this die cut that I pulled. And the die cut says "Never let go of your dreams." And again, that's a double, you know, that has a double meaning on this particular layout. So I just popped that down up there. And I'm looking for other things to add, again, because I said I'm needing some color behind that chipboard piece. And I'm thinking about that piece, and then I look at this little tiny scrap that I was thinking about at one point from True Stories, that cinnamon roll paper, and decide that is the perfect one, and I can get it. There's enough of it, I don't need that much, that I can actually get it to go from side to side on the paper, which is fantastic. I mean, that it turned out, this is just a great idea, because that's just the pop of additional solid color that I really needed in this layout, and especially the pop that I needed behind that globe right there. So I'm cutting that off because now I have to slide these under my layers, and even though I don't fully glue photos down, I am going to need some to be able to really slip these under. So I'm quick inking that. I'm inking with my black Jenny Bolin fountain pen ink there too, by the way, and I'm using my Tim Holtz inking tool there. Which, the reason that works so well is it really softens the ink up. If you do it direct from the ink pad, it's much darker. And sometimes I do like to do that, but a lot of times I really like to use this tool. Oh, hello. I'm trying to think what happened there. I think something fell and I had to grab it, if I remember correctly. So I just pulled the tape up a little bit so I could slip that paper under. And look at how much that really sets off the photos now. That pop just made the top of that layout. I was much happier once I put that in. So now I'm kind of looking and trying to figure out what other things I could maybe add. You know, is there a die cut I can add? And now I'm looking and thinking, okay, can I do anything else? And I grab these little chipboard stars, and I'm going to dot a few of them in each cluster. I think there were 6 on the sheets, if I remember correctly. So I thought, well, let's go for it. I have 3 clusters. We're going to use all of them so that I don't have these things hanging out. I think I used all of them. And maybe I didn't. I don't know. Yep, there we go. I'm finishing them up. I thought I had done that. Instead of just letting them sit on there, let's get it on a page, right? That's my philosophy now, is let's use it up and get it on a page. And that just helps pull those 3 clusters together. It also adds another spot of color that's in that globe paper on the bottom. At one point I did think about using that little arrow border sticker from the chipboard sheet, and I toyed with putting that on the layout. I toyed with going back to that white border sticker with the stars on it from the edge of the pink paper, and just decided, no, I have enough on here. That globe paper is so busy, I really wanted to feature it, so let's just let it sit. And this design of either a solid or faux solid piece on the top or bottom, sometimes I do that on the bottom of a sheet or one of the sides, is a really great way to feature a busy paper here. So that's what I end up doing. I'm just finishing up the journaling. There's no actual title on this. I'm calling this "The World is Open," which is on that chipboard sheet. And the layout is basically done. You'll find a still shot and a couple of detail shots at the end. Hope you are all well. Bye.